Just sound like it right now.
You got it. Just give him the microphone.
Welcome to Jobber's Masters of Home Service podcast, where successful business owners share their secrets for making your business more profitable and efficient. I'm your host, Adam Sylvester, owner of Charlottesville Lawn Care and Charlottesville Gutter Pros for the last 15 years. I truly believe that service entrepreneurs need to come together from different service industries and swap stories, share tips, and learn from each other. By getting together and sharing each other's successes and failures, we can help each other level up. And that's the mission of Masters of Home Service. On today's podcast episode, we are discussing the importance of customer experience. And on today's show, we have the owner of Impetus Plumbing, Terrence Chan, with us.
Hey, Adam. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And Kimberly Towers, the owner of Red Rose Cleaning.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for both of you for being here. Kimberly, Terrence, a lot of our listeners have heard the expression, the customer's always right. What do you think? Is that true?
Personally, I don't think that's true, but a lot of times you really want the customer's happiness. Happiness is a really big thing for us. So if the customer's not happy with our service, we always try to make it right. And one of the biggest things we try to do is always give a refund, especially if they're really unhappy. And a lot of times they try to give us a bad review. I think a lot of times when we do this kind of work and be in the service industry, you kind of want to stray away from these bad reviews. It's not because your company isn't good, but you can't please every customer. And from that standpoint, it's always better to have a full refund, give them their money back, or try to work it out with them, because a bad review is really costly on your company itself.
Kimberly, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't love the phrase that the customer is always right. Obviously, we're home service business owners. We are customer focused, but I just know that without my staff's happiness, we can't even be there for a customer. So the customer isn't always right. That's definitely not our motto, but I do agree that their happiness is important, and bad reviews, they suck. Like, you don't want that. It can be detrimental to your business. So definitely wanting to make the customer happy, but I never sacrifice my staff's happiness or comfortability or anything like that before a customer's.
How do you balance taking care of your staff, but also taking care of your customers? How do you make that balance, Kimberly?
Yeah, I think by taking care of my staff, they want to take care of my customers. So if my staff knows that I put them first, they will put our customers first. It's kind of just like a cycle that ends up going around really well, but they know that they're taken care of from me. I listen to them. I care about, if they're comfortable on a job or what makes them happy. So they're willing to go the extra mile for our customers because I'm willing to go the extra mile for them. So
Exactly the same way as Kimberly. I think the staff's happiness is one of the biggest things for us as well, because without a happy staff, you can't have a happy customer. But the second thing, what we always try to do, we're trying to be really personable with our customers to really understand what their needs are. Because a lot of times when a customer's unhappy, it usually comes down to the processes, something that happened along the way that wasn't correct. At the end of the day, it's really about both sides being happy. You got to be happy, your staff have to be happy, and your customer has to be happy.
Yeah, I like to tell my team that they're my customers. If I take care of my customers, they'll take care of our customers. What are some one or two ways that you are for sure certain you have to hit these things to make sure the customer experience is where you want it to be?
I would say number one for us right now is just follow through, doing what you say you're going to do, showing up when you say you're going to show up, do the job that you said you were going to do. Transparency and just being genuine with our customers right now is getting us a long, long way, and they appreciate it so much.
I love this topic because for me, it's all about processes. It's really about how you set everything up and how your call starts from the beginning. And, for us, when we use Jobber, we really hone down these processes from the beginning to the end. Just much like how they call in, we take in all their information. That's a must for the first thing. Taking their information first. If they don't give information, we don't give the quote. Second of all, then we give the quote once we get all that information. And once we give the quote, we have them sign the quote. So once they sign the quote, we also have a deposit to make sure they take the appointment. And then from the appointment, we put the job description. And when our guys are on the job, we do another process where our guys go over the job once again. and then we have another signature. So now we get 2 signatures. And our third process, we make sure that when we're finished the job, we go over the scope and we get a third signature. And I believe like when you have all those things that are transparent, like Kimberly said, the process makes it so much easier. And at the same time, it kind of puts away the other customers that aren't really interested and they're just price shopping. Because as a business, you want people that call your business because they know what you guys are about and they want the good work that you guys provide. So that's a pretty important part of the customer experience and aspect that I like about that.
That's dope. And I also feel like through that, like I just learned something, but I feel like through that, there are so many times where a customer can like check and see if something was wrong. So they're literally controlling their experience by using, the signatures and the forms and stuff like that. So I really like that. They're not blind to the end, essentially. That's cool.
It's really awesome when you do that because you just don't want to get into fights all the time. And when you do get into the fights, you have to just pull it up and say, hey, everything was approved. Like, what can we do to make this experience better? Because we just want to make sure if we made a mistake this time, then you go over with your team about a new process of what happened last time, and then you can correct each time to make the process more perfect each time. So it gives a way better experience and way less fights with customers.
Yeah, last thing you want to do is start arm wrestling the client on who said what and everything.
Yeah.
So you make a promise to your client, right? And then you deliver it with processes. What's the outcome?
You get the full follow through. You get paid. You get a good review. And there are no questions asked and everything is transparent because just so many times people complain about problems that it's the customer. But I think like in the service industry, not enough people understand that it's really not the customer. It's really more of the business that has the trouble of conveying the message at the end of the day that creates the problems with you and the customer afterwards. I mean, there's always going to be that one, let's say 5% of customers that are going to be jerks. Right. But if you create those processes, you can always find good customers out of that. And you have great outcome with people that will come back because they know your process. They know the professionalism behind it because every customer is dealt the same way.
The 5%, have you guys figured out a way to see them coming? The clients that you don't ever want to work with? Any tips on that?
And you can see them coming. The thing that we deal with is people trying to like undercut you from the jump, not wanting to follow your process, not wanting to give those signatures, asking, questions are cool, but when you're asking questions to try to get your way or change my process, I'm like, this isn't going to go well. And if I make an exception for somebody, it always comes back to bite me. I'm like, I knew 2 weeks ago I shouldn't have done that, and now you give them an inch and they are taking a mile. So luckily, I think that if you can steer away from those 5%, really dive into the 95%, those are the customers you want. And I think that you should try to be in a position where you don't have to take those 5% of customers. I do not want to work with anyone I don't want to work with. Like, we can put all of our efforts into the 95% and just trying to steer away from those people from the jump who start to give you some problems.
That's exactly it. I mean, the processes are there to kind of pick them out. So a lot of times having that appointment and that scheduling costs for a deposit, that puts a lot of people off. And that's the best part because a lot of price shoppers do not want to pay for you to go to their place or put them on the schedule. They just want a price so that they can take that price to somebody else. So having those processes are really important. But as you grow and you get more of those processes down, that percentage does go down. But sometimes you still get a curveball. That's what business is all about, right?
That's what it's all about, right?
Keeps things interesting.
The deposit is a good one. It makes sure they have skin in the game.
Yeah.
And if you waive a deposit, it never ends well. How do you measure customer experience and make sure that they're happy?
Yeah, we send out surveys a couple times a year. We always ask for reviews online like Google, on our Facebook. But we send out surveys to our customers, our routine customers who see us all the time, really just to get in-depth feedback on what they see while we're on the job, if anything has changed. And a lot of times I just got to go up to people. I go up to my customers in their homes and ask them about what's going on. I'm not able to be with every customer every day. So I make it a point to travel around throughout the seasons at least a couple times a year and check in with them to just get face-to-face interaction and see how they're feeling about us.
From our last jobber thing at the summit, I've learned a lot about reviews as well. You don't try to strive for a 5-star. You try to strive for a 6-star. You try to strive for a 7-star. You have to strive for a star above 5 to make sure you always get 5. And that's kind of what I go towards.
I like that.
I do too.
I like that. 6 or 7 stars. Yeah, I like that a lot. Do you automate the reviews process at all? I'm curious if you guys, is it all manual or do you have any kind of automation in place to get reviews?
I think there are pros and cons to like automated and non-automated, and I also just try to cater it to the specific client. So if I know someone won't say anything unless I go visit them and have a conversation, they're the ones I'm going to visit. And then I have some clients, we use little cards with the QR code for our Google review on them, drop them there. They're like easy. I can scan it. I can do it. Like you don't need to come visit me. So I think I kind of cater to what would work for that client to get the feedback kind of by any means.
I've had clients come out of the woodwork months later who I thought were happy. And they tell me whether it's at the grocery store, I sent an email they responded to, and they said, well, we weren't really happy with your service. And this is the first I'm hearing about it.
Yeah.
Well, goodness, why didn't you tell me sooner? But they're busy. They have lives. They just chalk it up and move on. I mean, our listeners are listening right now, trying to do a good job for their clients every day. But we don't know about all the quiet clients who may not be the ruckus makers. Any tips on pulling them in and making sure that even the quiet people who aren't as outgoing, so to speak, will speak up and get the service that they need?
That's a good question. I guess I just feel like our face-to-face interactions and just trying to do it maybe like before you get out the door. So for us, for instance, we can walk a client like around the house that we just cleaned and have them look while we're there. So we get that info before we leave. But yeah, sometimes it's just not in people's nature to give feedback right away. And it can be a little scary when you think you do a really good job and you leave and you don't hear from someone. You're like questioning yourself and your abilities and like, will this pop back up in some months? But with that being said, you can't do everything perfect all the time. And yes, as much as we want to know right away at the time, at the end of the job, like you're not going to get everybody. So
what I try to tell my staff to do is to actually follow up a week or two afterwards just to see how everything is. So again, you have more personable relationship with the customer. The customer is happy to know that you care. And I think that's a process that we're going to probably add onto our side so we don't get more of those surprises.
This is a great conversation. We'll take a 30-second break and be right back.
I could never go on vacation. Running my renovation and contracting business took up all of my time until I found Jobber. Last year, I actually headed out of the country and went to the beach for my vacation. I could schedule my team, update job details, make sure my customers were getting taken care of, and we were getting paid. All from the beach. You need a vacation, and you can do that too. You need Jobber.
Smoother from start to finish. Quote, schedule, invoice, and get paid. Start your free trial today at jobber.com.
Have customer expectations changed since you've started in business?
I would say so. So I actually bought this company in the middle of the pandemic, and I was shocked how impressed my clients were just by me like following up with them. Like when they send an email and I respond, people are always so grateful. I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to do. I call someone back, I show up on time, and they are like through the roof with excitement. And again, I'm like, this is just a standard of business. But I do think that people's expectations have lowered, especially for the home service business, that people aren't going to show up, aren't going to do a good job, and aren't going to follow through. So I think, not only being skilled in your area of expertise, so cleaning homes for us, but just being transparent about your process and doing what you say you're going to do, it has gotten me, leaps and bounds ahead.
I would say customers are a lot smarter now. It's different from before where, not a lot of people use the internet as much. But nowadays, customers are smarter because they're more price conscious, and two, there's just so much more information online. So a lot of the things that you do work on, it's just like being a DIYer, right? They think that they know what you're doing. They want to tell you what to do and all those kind of things. So it has become different because back in the day, there were a lot less questions, but it's also good that it's changed to that nowadays, because back in the day, what would happen is if I walk into the house, I have dyed hair or my hair was black and I look really young, there's always that ageism thing that happens for me.
yeah.
So they'll just be like, do you know what you're doing? Like, how
real.
old are you? Like, how many years of experience? Because they want somebody with gray hair in there. They think that, it's still back in the day where you have all that information, and if you're not old enough, you don't have the experience. But it doesn't work like that anymore, because a lot of our stuff is more technological. Even for the plumbing and heating side, it's just there's so much more computer stuff. So customers have changed. They're a lot smarter, I would say.
I've told a lot of people this. If you smile and tuck your shirt in, you can beat 95% of your competition. If that's all you have to do to really stand out, how high could you go if you really went above and beyond?
Exactly.
Like, it's not an excuse for lowering your standards or keeping them low. It's
Right.
wow, I could really blow this thing out of the water. What does a 5-star review do for your business?
Good reviews online is everything. When I'm going to go to a restaurant or use a different service, what am I doing first? Googling. I'm only looking at 4.5, 4.8 and above. Like, that's what I want to be serviced by, the companies that I want to go to. So it puts you at the top. It keeps you top of mind with people. It continues to grow your business. It's everything.
For me, it's really important, because the more of those that you have, the more you can market yourself to be the leader of the industry, the better company in the industry, because you have to show people that it's not only about knowledge, there is the big service aspect of it. Because I think there comes a point for every business that it's going to be all the same. There's not going to be one that's going to be a lot smarter than the other. The one that really makes that difference is really your service. And that's why, we have a Masters of Service podcast. It's all about the service at the end of the day, of what gives that lasting impression for a customer to come back. And with a 5-star, not only does it give that impression that you're going to treat them well, you already know that if you're in the top niche of that market, you can charge more. That's when you can start growing your business more, to start scaling it and getting more staff and more training for your staff. So 5 stars does a lot for your business, in my sense.
I think it really boosts morale too. We read our 5-star reviews every Monday morning in our meeting, and our technicians will point, like, yeah, that was yours. Oh, that was your client. Oh, yeah, nice job. And it mines so much juice out of those reviews, because clients will tell you what matters to them in the reviews. They were on time. They were friendly. They were polite. They drove a nice van. Like, all those things matter to clients. When you read that aloud to your team, it reinforces the good over and over again. It really boosts morale.
I like that.
Yeah.
I need to do
meetings.
that. Yeah.
How do you respond to negative reviews? What do you do?
I will call the hell out of them. So any negative review, we put it as a red flag right away. I first get my manager to call, because you kind of want to teach your staff through that process to how to deal with that situation. And if they can't deal with it, I escalate it to myself. So I'll talk to the customer, see what they're unhappy with. One, you can learn from it to see why you got a bad review, and you have to be very accountable and honest with yourself and your staff if that was a deserving 1-star or 2-star. And if it wasn't, then you learn to not ever serve that customer again. Not to sound like a jerk myself, but there are those customers that are really hard to handle.
Sure.
There's people that you can't make happy.
Kimberly, what do you do when you get a 1-star review?
Yeah, so knock on some tables. I've never had one.
Oh my goodness.
Yes,
Wow.
I know. Publicly, I guess I should say. So nothing has ever been written online negatively about our business. But I've had clients send, mistakes we have made at their home. They'll just personally text me. Looking inward at our team and our processes is the first thing we do. So obviously I make it right with the customer, but we want to look inwardly and see, okay, what did we miss? Was this a hard to please customer, or did we just mess something up? And we actually use Jobber and the notes feature because our clients are routine. So we'll take, like, if they sent us a picture of a bed that was made incorrectly or something like that, we'll take that picture and put it in our notes part of the client portion on Jobber, so that when we go back to their home the next time, my staff can see the complaints and what was missed, and so that doesn't happen again. So just implementing processes moving forward so that we don't get any complaints, especially the same complaint with the same client. Like, we really want to stay away from that. If you say something is wrong one time, like, I can understand that, but we don't ever want to repeat that mistake with you.
Don't fight it. A lot of people, I find that a lot of people when they first start their business, they'll try to keep fighting that customer. And they'll go on the keyboard and write the worst thing ever. It's not how to handle it.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not the right way. So a lot of our listeners, they want to get better. They want to improve their customer experience. What advice do you have for them?
Process. That's all I can say. That's my biggest tip. A lot of people do not create processes. They just go on a whim to try to please the customer and do whatever it is to get the business. But you need to learn how to make these processes, because only when you make these processes can you scale your business and teach the next person. Because if you don't have anything that you yourself can follow, you won't be able to get a good customer experience at the end of the day, because it's not repeatable.
Right.
Yeah, definitely don't just leave it up to chance. But one of the things I do from the very beginning is look at the people you're hiring. So are these people going to be able to carry out your customer service strategy? Starting from the hiring process, implementing questions in your hiring process, talking to these candidates about how do you work with people? Tell me about a time that you went above and beyond to give good customer service. What does 6, 7, 8, 9 star service look like? That's something that you want to get from your candidates from the jump before you even bring people into your business.
Finding team players, right?
Exactly.
When I stay in a hotel, they make my room the same way every time, right?
Yeah.
And because there's a process that they have to do every time, we're no different. When we clean houses, when we do plumbing, we have to do the same things every time to deliver the same result to our clients.
Jobber has that function where you can create the checklist. So beginning then with all the newer techs, what we do is we link the checklist into their job. And then when they go to the job, they're able to go through that checklist of what they have to do with their customers. And the last one is, going through the job with the customer and making sure they're happy and then getting the final signature.
I love it.
Kimberly, what are some mistakes that you say, no, don't step there, there's a trap there in terms of customer experience? Any tips on that? Any pitfalls that they should avoid?
Yeah, I would just say, and I think we touched on this a little earlier, fighting the customer, like get away from that back and forth. It's really not worth it. If you have a process in place for customer experience, follow it. And if that didn't work for a customer, you can see why. Take what they have into consideration, bring it back to your team. But the back and forth just isn't worth it. It's honestly a waste of time, and you probably will just make the customer even more mad than they were before. So finding a process that works, tweaking it if necessary, but getting away from a back and forth or any fighting. You have to move on, make someone happy tomorrow. Like, you'll make up for it.
One thing I'm learning is the importance, or the value, I should say, of telling our customers what's going to happen. So they know what the process is going to be. Okay, so you're going to walk me through the house and tell me what you did afterwards. Great. So that way, if the process for whatever reason doesn't work for them, they tell you up front,
Right.
So I've got 3 tips if I'm going to summarize this whole conversation. Number 1, bad reviews. Take care of them, whether it's a full refund or whatever you have to do to try to neutralize that review, because a bad review can really hurt you in the long run. And then the importance of processes, making sure you do the same thing every time, making sure your people are trained well, and making sure that you deliver the same outcome to the client every single time. And then tip number 3, hiring the right people, treating them well, making sure that you go back for them, and training them well, and giving them the tools to succeed. Usually we just have 3 tips, but Kimberly's got a bonus tip. You want to share that with us, Kimberly?
Yes, I highly recommend doing regular surveys with your routine clients. We implement them twice a year, but this is a chance to get feedback from your clients and continue to grow your routine client business.
I appreciate both you, Kimberly, and Terrence. You guys are killing the marketplace.
Thank you.
You guys are making a difference to your team, to your customers, to your cities where you guys live. Keep doing it. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us, Adam.